What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video we're going to be talking about the last song on every Taylor Swift album, ranking them much like we did this past week, ranking the first song on all of her albums. So the opening songs, we did that last time. Now we're going to be looking at how she closes her albums, a way that I personally really enjoy looking at. Again, if you watched the last video, I really enjoy listening to artists' first song on the album because I really do think it sends a very powerful and strong message. I just like hearing kind of the new way they sound in each album, but I also really like how they close it. I think sometimes when they close it, they can send a powerful message. It's the last song in the terms of, maybe it's not the last song they recorded, but it's the last song on the album that you're going to hear you've listened to all these songs and it's the closing song. This is the song that's just going to end the album and you're not going to hear another new song from them until the next album. So I think it really sends a very powerful message, especially when you're listening to it in the present without knowing what they're going to sound like next. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best. Definitely let me know in the comments below what your rankings are for this. So very quickly, I'm going to preview, like I said in the last video, in all these videos from now on, I'm going to kind of preview very quickly the next video. So next video, I'm going to do one of your suggestions. I'm actually going to rank every single song that Taylor Swift has made that's not on her official album. So any B-sides, any unreleased songs, so songs she made for movies. Songs are included in the deluxe editions of albums, such as like her first, so let me give you an example, like Perfectly Good Heart on Taylor Swift. That's going to count as the album. It's not going to count as a bonus song. But any B-side, so like Jump Then Fall or Superstar or New Romantics or any one of those songs, those all count on my new listing that's going to happen next week. But also any of her songs that she made for movies or any songs that were unreleased, anything like that, those will also count. So what I want you guys to do to kind of help me out is let me know if I'm missing any songs. So write in the comments below what the songs are that she didn't put on her albums as like B-sides. I'm pretty much nailed down all the B-side songs, or at least I know them in my head, but I know she's made songs that have been made for movies. I know she made a song for like the first 50 Shades movie before I Don't Want to Live Forever, and I don't even remember its name. So I know she's made songs for movies. I know she's made a couple other bigger songs for movies. So make sure you let me know in the comments below all those ones, just so I am aware. I'll research them myself, obviously, but I do want your guys' help to make sure I nail every single song that she's ever unreleased or as a B-side, and I'm going to rank them in the next video. Okay, so that's going to happen next Sunday. Okay, so jumping right in, let's get right into this. So we're actually going to do something unique with this listing in that her first album, Taylor Swift, I want to rank them twice. Because her first album, Taylor Swift, technically the last song on that album is Our Song. But if you buy the deluxe edition, really after it came out, a couple years after it came out, the last song on the album is officially Perfectly Good Heart. So I want to include that specifically, and I want to do two different listings, pretending that Our Song is the last song on that album, and pretending Perfectly Good Heart is the last song on this album. Okay, so we're going to do two quick listings, and I'm going to say like where the switch is when Perfectly Good Heart comes into play. So counting Our Song on this list, here's my list, 6 through 1 technically, worst to best, the last song on every Taylor Swift album. Number 6 is Our Song. Now, I never was a massive fan of Our Song. If you go watch our first video review I think I ever did for any Taylor Swift stuff, I reviewed Taylor Swift, her very first album, and I actually said in that video I don't really even like that much any of the major songs, any of like the singles. Tim McGraw is not one of my favorite songs, obviously. Picture to Burn, honestly, is not. The only one that's probably the big one on that album that I do actually really like is Should Have Said No. That's, I guess, the biggest song that's a single or widely known that I do actually like. And Our Song is another one. I think Our Song is a little catchy. I think it is fast tempo. It's got like a cute Taylor Swift voice and all that stuff. But to be honest, I've never been a huge fan of Our Song. It's not a song I don't like. It's definitely not that I do like the song. It's not like Tim McGraw. But it is a song that I do think is pretty overall not very strong. I think it is kind of in that, again, experimental phase that she's having in her first album where she's just trying to play with things. It has the country aspects behind her. It's got her voice. Her voice is definitely stronger in Our Song. I think it's way more polished and better than in songs like Tim McGraw. But I would definitely argue, and even Picture to Burn. Picture to Burn, her voice, I think, is actually all over the place. Probably pretty messy. But Should Have Said No, actually, her voice is very powerful and very strong. Something that I think, a voice that's better than almost any song on that entire album. But definitely even Our Song. So Our Song does appear dead dead last. Not that I don't like it, but just compared to what we're about to see, it's definitely last. Number 5 is Change. Now, this is very hard. This is very hard. And in the last video, I kind of like teased this. This is difficult because her albums, like I said last video, I always thought that she starts her albums extremely strong. She does. She definitely does. Go watch last video. She does. However, her endings of her albums are fantastic. I think I don't know how she does it, but she literally has really, really good songs to end just about every single album, and they're all elite songs. Definitely probably in the upper half tier. If you were to like divide her songs into 2 tiers, I think all of those songs are in the second half tier, the higher tier of her best songs. So I think she knocks it out of the park. Change is a song I really, really like. I love it, actually. I can play it on the guitar. It's got a really nice rock feel to it. I really like her voice in it. It's really, really good. I love it. It's a great ending to Fearless. It sends a strong message. It's about success and hoping to achieve success, and I really do like that. So its message is good. Her voice, I think, is fantastic in it. The guitar work and the instrument work in the background just in general is very, very good. This song is, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is definitely up there. But then I was looking at all the other songs, I'm like, geez, all of her songs, the last songs in all of her albums are so good that this song literally gets pushed to number 5. And that kind of sucks because this is not saying it's a bad song whatsoever. The only song I'd say is the weak song here, if you can even say that, is the last song in our song. But this song is fantastic. Change, it doesn't deserve 5, but just because there's better songs, it gets 5. Long Live is next at number 4. I love Long Live. I think Long Live is a fantastic story. I think it's fantastic vocals by her. I think it really tells like a great tale. I think it actually can connect to a lot of people's lives because she kind of writes it in terms of herself and the band and what they mean to each other and what the outside world is like to them and kind of like their legacy through it all. But I honestly think you can change that meaning and put it directly to you. It can relate to you and a friend. It can relate to you and a relationship you had, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. It can definitely relate to that thing because it's really just about 2 people that have been with each other. If you want to, change it just a little bit, it's about people being together and being there for each other and all the stuff they've accomplished throughout time with each other and what time is going to do with that. And if you're going to be remembered and if they're going to remember you and all that stuff. So I think the message in Long Live is fantastic. I think it's one of the stronger messages and it's one that really actually connects a lot to me with my friendships with other people. So I really do love this song. Again, I can play it on the guitar. I really like the instrument work. Love her voice. It's the ending to, again, Speak Now, my favorite album. Extremely consistent, extremely high. It comes, Enchanted and Haunted or towards the end of the album, and then Long Live just closes it out. I think it's a perfect closing song too because it's again kind of being like, what's legacy, what's time going to do to like this album? What's time and legacy going to do to Taylor Swift and her band? Like, where are they going to go next? And what's going to dictate that? And I think that's a strong and perfect message leading into Red. So that, again, it's a very good song. This could probably switch with number 3, just like my last video, how number 4 could switch with number 3. But for now, I'm going to put Long Live at number 4. New Year's Day is number 3. Again, you could probably switch this with Long Live if you feel so inclined. But New Year's Day, I think, is a fantastic song. I think it was my 3rd favorite song on Reputation. I really love this song overall. I think, again, strong message. If you've watched or if you've seen any like fan theories on New Year's Day, again, we've talked about, I think, 2 videos ago. Very interesting in terms of like maybe this is kind of her way of hinting that like all this stuff she did in Reputation, all this stuff she said, she just did it. She needed to do it for herself. She got it out there, and it was a very different kind of way of doing it, right? She changed up a lot of things, but then, like, here's, like, the after party. Here's what it's like in New Year's. Like, we're going to start brand new again. We're going to go off to new adventures. And I think that's a really interesting and really cool theory. So just that theory alone makes it cool, but the song itself does kind of talk about beginning new again, like a new year, a brand new year, and kind of leaving the past behind, cleaning up after the party and all that stuff. Really, really cool, I think. Again, when I've talked about it before, I think her voice absolutely shines through this. I think this is probably her best vocal performance on all of Reputation. It's just her and a piano, and it shows that she can, and I was reading a comment a couple videos ago of like that she can still make songs like this. She can still have her voice be like this, just herself, the piano, just her singing, just her conveying her message just with her voice. Beautiful voice. She didn't need any effects. She doesn't really sing on top of each other other than like one really quick thing, but it's still no added effects, no, electronic stuff. It's just her singing on top of each other or just her singing by herself. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful voice by her. It's a beautiful message. I think a very interesting way to leave Reputation. I think very powerful because, again, like I was saying, I think watching or listening to the last song on every album is special in that moment because you don't know what they're going to sound like next, right? I mean, when we listen to Long Live Now, we know that State of Grace is basically right next up, right? When we listen to Change, we know that Mine is next up. But now when we listen to New Year's Day, we don't know what's next. When we listen to Clean, we thought, okay, well, what's Ready For going to sound, like that kind of thing. But when we listen to New Year's Day, we don't know what her next song from her next phase in life is going to sound like. I think that makes the song, maybe right now, more memorable. Maybe that drops it on the list later, in 10 years when she releases like 3 or 4 new albums. Maybe it changes things, but for now, it deserves, I think, its spot definitely in number 3. Number 2 is Begin Again. So here's the thing. If you, again, have watched us for a while or watched me for a while, Red was not an album that I particularly enjoyed, actually. I never really got into Red. It took multiple listenings of Red in order for me to like it, and now I love it. I think it's one of her best albums. I love almost every single song on that album. I think there's a lot of really good standouts, and Begin Again is a song that caught me off guard. Begin Again is a song that I had never even heard up until whenever I reviewed it, like in October or something, and I had never heard it until that time. And it's a beautiful song. I love the music video for it. I really like overall just its message of literally beginning again, telling kind of a more relationship story overall. But I think Taylor Swift's voice is phenomenal. I really like her voice just throughout the entire thing. I like the violin, like the nice little orchestral thing she's got going on in the background. I think it's a really beautiful song. I think it's a really well done music video. Not that the music video matters to the actual music itself, but I really do enjoy the song overall. I think having it be more of like a beautiful song is kind of cool that it ends off Red, an album that again had a little bit of trouble for me just jumping into it and getting into it. And Begin Again definitely is one kind of tone when Red kind of tells all these different stories with its musical patterns, and then Begin Again kind of settles on, all right, a little bit of a slower, more dramatic even, a little bit of the violin in the background. It's just kind of, again, very much carried by Taylor's voice, just by her voice, and it's a really, really strong vocal performance. So I really, really love the song overall. It definitely snuck out of nowhere personally for me, and I think it absolutely deserves this spot. And it only leaves one song left, Clean, on 1989. This is, again, a song that really caught me off guard. Clean is a beautiful song, a song that definitely, again, goes a little bit different to 1989's feel. 1989 is a bit more of a faster tempo album overall. Again, I kind of said last video, it kind of fooled me. I thought Welcome to New York was a faster song just because of maybe the way I listened to the entire album. There's a lot of very fast, even Blank Space is kind of a faster song, but like Shake It Off, super fast. Even the bonus songs, New Romantics, extremely fast song, but Clean takes it very, very slow. It does a little bit different kind of stuff in the background. It definitely works with musical effects. Like she has all these really weird effects that maybe is actually her springboard into what she did with Reputation. But I think a really nice way of starting it, talking about really relationship, but connecting it almost to like drug use, like being clean off of drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I think it's really, really good. I love her voice in it. Again, very different. It's a very different kind of tone she has, but I think vocally very beautiful, and in the way that she actually sings, and just so different from the actual album. And now listening to it and then knowing Ready For It is next, I think makes it even better. I've really, really liked Clean. Again, it stuck out of absolutely nowhere for me. I had rarely even listened to it, but it's definitely a song I think is really, really well made and definitely deserving of this spot as number 1. So really quickly, like I said, pretending that our song is the last song on Taylor Swift makes it that list. If we were to pretend that Perfectly Good Heart is on it, and we pretend that is the last song, then my list changes and Perfectly Good Heart goes to number 4. And moves Long Live to 5 and then Change to 6. Again, I love Long Live and I love Change. Those are fantastic songs. Perfectly Good Heart, though, is beautiful. I can play on the guitar. It's got a great guitar kind of... I love the chords. I love the sound. I love her voice. Her voice on Perfectly Good Heart is my favorite sounding Taylor Swift voice, probably of at least the first 2 albums, easily. Her voice is beautiful on that song. Definitely, and she overlays it on top of herself a couple times, and I just really like it. I think it's a beautiful song, literally talking also about a perfectly good heart, but an actual heart. But overall, this song's message is great. I love the music in the background. I love the way her voice is. It's very powerful, but it's very strong, and it's very much there. It's focused. There's no weakness in it. Again, she has some pretty not great songs on Taylor Swift of her actual singing voice, but this song is not one of them. This is my favorite voice vocally that I can hear from her within the first 2 albums. So if we were to do it that way, Perfectly Good Heart were to be bumped up to number 4. So that's my personal listing. Again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What is your list if you had to rank the last song on every Taylor Swift album? Let me know. Again, next week we're going to be talking about every B-side, every unreleased song. So put in the comments all of those. Make sure I nail all of them so I have my list so I can rank every single one of them. So that's going to be next week. And then next week we'll do that, and I will preview the week after, where I'm going to start getting to many of your suggestions, probably starting with the music video one, although I may do a couple other ones first, but we'll eventually get to all of them, I promise. Again, just like I said in the last video, I appreciate you guys and girls, as always, for watching. I read all of your comments, even if I don't respond to them. I'm going to try and respond to all of them from now on. I want to have a great communication. You guys have great thoughts, great suggestions. I appreciate you all watching. I'll see you on the next video.